woman was captured at Mar-a-Lago. Now, first off, America, Mar-a-Lago is only about 25 miles from our location at the Grand Fort Lauderdale Hotel. The Fort Lauderdale Grand Hotel, about 25 miles to Mar-a-Lago. Some guy's living in it. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but he lives in it a lot of the time. In fact, more than Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C.
Chopley, I would rather cook rice one by one than go to Mar-a-Lago.
I was just terrified. I didn't know we were so close.
No, wait.
Oh
all
my
right.
God,
so this
so
woman has
all the
snuck
time.
in, and all kinds of security things are going on and discussing. We bring to news that apparently our national security is not very guarded very well because she told the front gate, "I'm going to the pool," and they let her right in to go to the pool. So
they were good when they came to my house.
Right. Right. All right. So it's in the news.
Just a
Under a
story.
different administration.
Second, we're showing you an interesting thing that happened this week. The Queer Eye cast, not the old guys, the new guys.
Oh, thank
the
goodness.
Queer Eye cast meets A.O.C. in Washington, D.C. And guess what? All of the gay guys got a little crazy and became fanboys of A.O.C. Watch this little video of some of the words they said.
What do you think of meeting A.O.C.?
Oh my gosh, she's phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
An icon, my heart beats already. But really, she's doing such good work for New York and for her constituents, and she's really such an incredible woman and really, really
So it's
inspiring.
interesting to us of what is the big deal? What's the big deal about A.O.C.? Because even the gay guys from the television show, it seems like the whole world is going a-gaga over A.O.C. What do y'all think about what's happening in terms of the presumption that A.O.C. is getting in America and really all over the world?
Y'all might remember that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, by the way.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes.
Okay. They're making fun of me. I call her A.O.C.
Because you can't pronounce it.
Yeah. No one else does.
So she was my new favorite thing several weeks back.
Yeah.
And
I think last year, actually. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it may have been actually, technically.
I do
Yeah,
recall.
I mean, she's making waves, and that's awesome. And you know, I love what she's doing. But this, as cute as it was, I mean, we got to be careful, I think, about putting celebrities on a pedestal like that and idolizing them. You know, I don't know. The gay icon thing was, I think, a little bit much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Other thoughts?
Especially when it happens so quickly, because just like the new queer cast, she was just put into this position a year and a half ago. So she's adjusting not only to what she can help with in Congress and with the government, but actually as a famous person now.
Right.
So
Well,
when she
yeah.
speaks out, it's
Exactly.
learning curve.
And I mean, famous is a weird word because we've got a responsibility to critically analyze what she's doing.
Yes.
It's-
You know,
well,
she's
I
writing
think
laws.
that
well,
not
just turn on
pop
Fox.
I think that it's also interesting to note, you know, she comes from the service industry, and if you know anything about the service industry, the LGBT community is a big part of the service industry across the country. And her being in the service industry, I'm sure she was friends with many LGBT persons, and it's not surprising that she is being so welcomed and embraced by our community.
I think it's interesting, Napoleon's mention about AOC's prominence nationally. No disrespect, but I make it an interesting point. AOC has not been around even for a year and a half.
It's true.
AOC has been in office for about 90 days. That's
office,
all,
yeah.
in office, and was only elected the first Tuesday about 6 months ago. And even in our dialogue, we're stretching completely unintentional, I know, the length of the importance of AOC in American society and their politics. And it's interesting to me what we watched from Queer Eye of it being so exaggerated. So, of course, it's in the news in terms of gay guys really becoming fanboys of AOC. Next, we want to report on what's going on in Salt Lake City. The Mormons have changed a church doctrine policy this week. They have announced that they are going to allow children of LGBT parents to be baptized in the Mormon Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We show you a slide here. The question is, we have in the gay community probably a lot of strong thoughts about the Mormon Church. Is this too little or too late? What do y'all think about what's going on?
Well, I have a brother who is married to his husband for like 28 years. They have 2 kids. And to me, it was exciting to see a little movement. I think it's a little late. And also, I hate the fact that they said that the church is not changing its doctrine opposition to gay marriage and still regards same-sex relationship as a serious transgression.
Oh, wow.
So it's not so cute. It might look cute, but it's not. They're not accepting.
Well,
Gotcha.
my question is, I thought that a baptism was about purifying your soul and that it was about removing the sins. I'm not the most religious wherever you would baptize, and maybe one of you can answer this for me, but I thought the goal was that it's not about the sins of your parents. Why would the perceived sins of your parents ever be involved in whether or not you can be baptized, whatever the religion?
Absolutely.
I don't know enough about it. I've never been part of a Baptist
let me take up the
zization.
point for the church. This is big news. The Mormon Church was
Big news.
principally responsible for Prop 8 in California, contributed more than $20 million to defeat gay marriage in California. This is a gigantic reversal of their position in embracing the LGBT community in steps and in various steps way. Don't y'all think that it's a big move?
We could do better.
But
No.
I think it speaks volumes that it is such a big move, and we got not very far with it.
Right.
You know, the Southern Baptist Church is the same way, and their official stance on trans people. I don't know about gay people. I assume probably the same. But about it being, like you said, a serious transgression.
Right.
So even if it's allowing people in, LGBT people in, it's not affirming them.
well, it
I
means
don't
that
think
members,
it's a big move. I really don't think it's a big move because basically they're just saying that they're going to baptize the kids of LGBT. Okay, well, baptizing the kids is basically just saying that we are baptizing you into our faith in hopes, I guess, that you will grow up better than your parents. That has absolutely, in my eyes, nothing to do with their stance on the LGBT.
I understand that too. I'm going to move on from our news headlines, but I also remind you, significantly, we reported this in the news that it's happening out. The mayor of Salt Lake City is a woman and a lesbian. We had gigantic news this last week about Chicago, but Salt Lake was the first major city in the United States to have a lesbian mayor. And to be literally, the city hall is in the shadow of the temple headquarters at the Mormon Church, something that we're going to watch. Next in headlines is about the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and the Secretary's resignation.
Do we still have a Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah, we do because a wall is
Barely.
being built. But right,
It's like you laugh until you realize you want to cry.
yeah, exactly. So we have
year
the
and a
slide here that Trump's border policy allegedly was just too much for her in her resignation, or he fired her because she was disagreeing. What do y'all think about the news about the resignation of the Homeland Secretary?
Let me get this out, honey. I say good riddance to bad rubbish. I say, whether she resigned or she was forced to resign, the fact of the matter is that she knew what she was signing up for when she signed up for this job. Okay, she knew what Trump was all about, and she went in anyways. And the fact that she got burned by the devil, which that's what she was signing up for, was working with Lucifer. She got burned by hellfire, is exactly what would have been expected. I don't know if she expected it, but she should have. So, as far as she's concerned, bitch bye.
Yeah.
But I just can't imagine. This is the face of the separation between kids and parents. This woman will never live that out. I mean, this is the face that we put with the separation. We don't put Trump's face, maybe we do, but she was the face,
She justified it, yeah.
Right? And it's
And
like,
she
this is
defe-
how you
and
want to
she-
go,
and
bitch?
She did,
That's
she
her
did
legacy.
staunchly
That's her
defend it.
legacy.
Yeah.
And
She
she's
did
a
staunchly
woman.
defend it.
I want to bring up a different point, though. The fact that the next person to take over for her is Kevin McCallion. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he should not be the next one in line. He's actually jumping over Deputy Secretary Claire Grady in that spot, who was supposed to be next. Why is that the case?
But
that he
baby,
can
they
just jump
fired her
over?
last night.
Is that what happened?
So
because
he
she was
could,
fired?
so he could be in.
Oh, so they fired the next person that should have
They
been
did.
in charge.
Because
to
they
make
didn't know that she was supposed to be the next one.
So,
Can't
so
keep
what's
up
the
with
scum
all
on
that.
Kevin? Someone
yeah,
tell me that. What's
it's
the
a
deed?
Yeah.
Messed up situation.
Man.
I want to take the position of defending the administration. or defending
Really?
her in her resignation.
Wow.
Doesn't
Wearing Joe's
she?
shirt.
Doesn't she get bonus points for at least
No.
eventually holding to her principles that she wasn't going to support a separation policy, and therefore she resigns over it?
I didn't even hear you after you said, doesn't she get bonus points? No.
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
I think she does because it made Carlos.
Is that
there's no
reaction?
empathy.
Now wait. Is the reaction at the table? We are so angry at the administration. We can't see any of the silver lining, even when there is sometimes silver
I
lining.
just think of the people and the kids that were affected, the families that were affected, the screaming mothers and the screaming babies that were torn apart, and the fact that she came out and staunchly defended this. Now she has come maybe to a full circle moment and has decided that she has to step away from it. But I feel that right now, her transgressions far outweigh her little act of redemption, which is basically to kick rocks. Okay, bitch, kick rocks.
Yeah.
Listen, you
Yeah,
can't
okay.
separate families and then apologize. That's really what it comes down to. You know, I can't murder someone and
yeah.
then say I'm sorry, and that's all that gets to be done about it.
Heard and understand and understood. This position is incredibly powerful because immigration is going to be the topic of defense and offense by the administration running in 2020. And this is a key cabinet position that's going to be doing that. So we'll watch this in the news.
Thrown to the
Before we
wayside.
come out of headlines, I want to give you breaking news that happens today. The hosts do not even know of this breaking news.
Another?
Production doesn't know
Or
it.
do
We don't
we?
have a fancy or pretty slide or video to tell you. But the news is big.
That's
The
how we
news
like
is
it.
big. It has been announced today in Auckland, in Christchurch, New Zealand, that the Prime Minister has signed an agreement that was passed by their Senate and House. It's one House body to have gigantic reform of gun control in New Zealand.
Wow.
This is significant because the vote today of the 120 members of the National Parliament of New Zealand was 119 to 1
Wow.
in controlling guns in New Zealand. What is very stark on this news, in my opinion, is the public opinion in New Zealand is almost identical to America in their belief that there should be significant gun control reform. The populations of both countries feel the exact same way in almost identical percentage.
But
that is the only agreement between New Zealanders, Kiwis, and Americans. I remind you, the mass shooting of 50 people was just 27 days ago. They have 27 days later a national vote to ban military weapons, to ban military assault weapons, to buy back more than 4.5 million weapons in New Zealand, and ban high-capacity bullet magazines in New Zealand. And if you do not comply, you will be subject to 5 years imprisonment.
Boom.
And that passed in just 27 days, 119
Exactly.
to 1.
Wow.
So when somebody says, I'm praying for you, New Zealand says, in our headlines, actions speak a lot louder than your fucking words. And I'm one of the people that are Orlando proud that can say that in our headlines.
And I'm assuming that the one person that held out was the guy that got egged.
He's actually Australian. He's not the one, but that's a good joke. Good joke. All right, that's our headlines in the news.
Thanks so much for watching us. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to our channel and like us on Facebook.